Most men don't realize they're being forged. Not someday, not when life gets hard, not when the crisis shows up. Right now. Your current state, what are you doing? See, every decision is shaping you. Every habit forms you. Every excuse weakens you. But every act of discipline strengthens you. Every time you choose comfort, when you know you should choose responsibility, you're becoming a certain kind of man. And every time you choose what's right, even at cost to you, you're becoming another kind of man. The question is not whether you are being forged. You are. The question is, into what? Welcome to the Framework Podcast. I'm your host, Joksan Morales. This is not another motivational podcast built on hype, slogans, catchy phrases, temporary emotion. This is about structure, about responsibility, about becoming the man your faith, your family, your body, and your future require you to become. The framework is built on 4 pillars. That's faith, family, fitness, and finance. Not because they're catchy words, but because those are 4 areas that if they show weakness, a man's life becomes unstable. You can look successful on the outside and still be falling apart in private. Or you can make money and still lack peace. Be physically present at home, but emotionally absent. See, these dichotomies are a major factor in the decisions that we make that impress upon us who we become. We can talk about discipline and still be mastered by comfort. That is why this podcast exists. To help men rebuild. Take inventory, to help men stop drifting and start living with structure, purpose, and responsibility. One of the biggest lies a man tells himself is, I'm just in a season. Sometimes that's true. There are varying seasons, hard, heavy, seasons where life hits you from every direction. But a lot of us use season sort of like a soft word for surrender. You're not in a season, you're in a pattern. It could be a pattern of neglect, excuses, a pattern of spiritual laziness, emotional reactive, poor health, financial disorder. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Maybe you're in a pattern of being physically present, but absent mentally. And over time, that pattern becomes your identity. That's the danger. See, if we do something long enough, we eventually stop seeing it as a choice. We start seeing it as who we are. You know, I'm just not disciplined. Or I've always been bad with money. Nobody taught me. Or I'm not good with leading my family. I don't have time to get in shape. I'm too tired to pray. I'll get serious later. I'll start Monday, etc., etc. No, that ain't the truth. This is you as a man negotiating with weakness. You're not standing still because we're either being built or broken down. We're either becoming stronger or softer, moving toward order or drifting into chaos. It's one or the other. There is no middle ground where we can just coast. And here's the part that most men don't want to hear. Your current life is giving you feedback. Your body, like mine, is giving you feedback. I'm out of shape. I have to do something about it. Your bank account, if you look at it and you don't have a lot of money, is feedback. Your marriage and relationship with your children is providing you feedback. Your spirituality is giving you feedback. You get the point, right? If my calendar is all chaotic, that's feedback. My habits that I do in private, I can get feedback from them. The question is not whether we have the information we need, but are we man enough to listen? See, we're taught from a very early age that, hey, achieve this and you'll have an easy life. That comfort is necessary, rest is necessary, that peace is all good. Now, enjoying the fruits of our labor is not wrong. But comfort becomes dangerous when it becomes our master. A man ruled by comfort starts making subtle or quiet compromises. And you stop waking up with intention, hitting the snooze button multiple times. We stop training our bodies. We stop leading our families, managing money. We stop seeking God with intentional purpose and seriousness. We start doing hard things because the easy things are always available. Then we wonder why we feel weak, why we feel frustrated, why we have no fire. And the answer isn't beyond, it's not mysterious. Comfort is training you. That's the thing that most men, myself included, we miss. See, sacrifice is looked upon something difficult or bad, but that trains you. Responsibility, discipline trains you. Courage trains you. But so does fear. See, our habits are made up of repeated choices and actions. So every repeated choice gives you an answer. It gives us feedback. If we keep using excuses will teach us to escape responsibility. Distraction will teach us to hate silence. Are you always on your phone? When you have quiet time, instead of picking up a book, something that you can read and propel your life forward, do we pick up the phone and distract ourselves, or tablet? This matters. These subtle feedbacks, we have to master capturing them. Weakness is usually not loud. It arrives quietly. One skipped workout, one ignored prayer, a harsh word at home, an unnecessary purpose, one more night of scrolling, a morning without direction because you haven't planned your day the night prior, one more excuse, and then one day you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. Not because you've changed overnight, but because you were being forged the entire time. That's why I focus on the 4 pillars. And that's what the entire framework is built upon. I did 10 previous episodes on the podcast, but I was still finding myself. And, I had good intention, but then I honed in. This is episode 1. And those 4 pillars, these aren't random categories. They're pressure points. Reveal who a man really is. See, faith is your foundation. And without faith, a man becomes its own highest authority. And when you become, in your head, your own highest authority, you usually end up being ruled by your appetite, ego, emotion, or fear. See, faith puts us under something greater than ourselves. It gives us order. It keeps us humble. It gives us direction. It reminds us that life is not just about what we want. Second pillar. I'll get deeper in, upcoming episodes. Family. See, a man can live in a house and still not lead a home. You pay bills, but you're still absent. You can say you love your family and still give them the leftovers of your energy, of your patience, of your attention, of your presence. Family requires more than provisions. Requires presence, obviously. Emotional discipline, sacrifice. You have to lead by example. The third one, fitness. Your body's not just about appearance. If you think about it, it's about capacity for energy, strength, endurance, confidence, self-respect. A man doesn't need to look like, Arnold in his prime or Dorian Yates or any professional athlete, but you do need to stop lying to yourself. Because if your body's constantly tired, you're inflamed, weak, undisciplined, you neglect your body, it'll affect every other area of your life. Because our bodies, it's like an outward representation of our habits. In my case included, I'm working on mine. Finance. Finance is about stewardship. It's about order. Protection, if you may. Options. Because if you have money, you have more options. About reducing unnecessary stress on your household. See, a man who makes money but can't manage it is still unstable. A man who looks rich but lives financially fragile isn't free. You're performing. So these four pillars, faith, family, fitness, finance, in actuality, they expose drift. But they can also create a path back. So we're not past the loss. Many men need a framework, not a feeling. You don't need more motivation. We need structure. Motivation is fleeting, It's unsteady to build a life on that. Because some days you'll feel strong, focused, ready. But some days you'll wake up tired. Or you're having a bad day and your emotions get heavy. Some days your family needs more than you're ready to give. Some days work just drains you. Others, temptations are louder than discipline. See, if our lives depend on motivation, then our life is inconsistent because motivation has peaks and valleys. A framework gives you something to return to. When you feel scattered, come back to the framework. Those four pillars. When you feel weak, return to whichever one it is, your faith, your family, your fitness, or your finance. Overwhelmed, figure it out, because it's going to hit one of those, maybe multiple of those pillars. Even if you don't know where to start, here's the framework. Faith, family, fitness, finance. Ask yourself, how's my faith? How's my family? How's my fitness? Check your bank account. How are my finances? And not theoretical, but in reality, ask yourself those questions. What did my actions prove this week? Did I see God or just think about him? Did I lead my family or just coexisted among them? Did I train my body? or I kept making excuses to miss a workout? How about your money? Did I manage my money, or am I just looking at it? See, this is where we start rebuilding. Not some fantastical thing or adage, not some fake version of yourself, but make an honest audit. Because a man who cannot tell himself the truth, you can't change. Let's contrast the weak man and the strong man. See, a weak man chooses comfort. The strong man chooses discipline. The weak blame, the strong build. The weak waits for rescue. The strong man becomes a protector. A weak person reacts emotionally. A strong man would govern himself. A weak man hides from responsibility. A strong man accepts it. A weak man shows strength in public, but in private he collapses. See, the weak man builds in private. He's disciplined before public pressure. And that strong man understands these things seriously. Now, being strong doesn't mean you can take on the world, or you're emotionless, or you don't struggle, or you have all the answers. But that strong man, that strength, means you stop lying about your weaknesses. Means when you fall, you get back up. You tell the truth. We take ownership. We stop waiting for someone else to fix the problems that we see, not just the ones that we have, but we fix what we've been assigned to carry. This is the standard, not perfection, ownership. A man under God, responsible for his family. A man who disciplines his body, manages his resources well. A man who builds legacy instead of chasing status. That's the kind of man the framework is calling forward. And you look at my reaction, and this is as much for me as I'm trying to invoke action on you. The question that you need to answer is, who are you becoming? Not the surface outward appearance of who people think you are, not who you post online to be, not who you imagine that you'll become one day, right? Someday down the future. It's who you're becoming based on repeated decisions. Because our habits are honest, right? The calendar that we have is honest. Our spending is honest. Our body is an honest representation of who we are. Our private life, our reactions, the way we speak to our wife, the way we show up to our children is honest. And if you take a look, think about it, most of these things happen behind closed doors. The way you handle stress is honest. The way we use our time. You see, men don't become strong on accident. We don't become faithful by accident. We don't become fit or financially stable or ordered by accident. As a man, you do not become a protector by accident. That is forged. One decision at a time. Habit by habit. Sacrifice by sacrifice. Day by day. If you find yourself that you're spread too thin, come back to the framework. Identify your weaknesses. I can't impress upon you, men, that this is not just another podcast. It's a call to structure. to responsibility and a call to stop drifting. For us to become the man you know you were supposed to become. And the work, it starts now. Not next Monday, not next month, not when the weather's better, not when, the chaos of life calms down. Now. I implore you, today, choose one area. Faith, family, fitness, finance. Pick an area where you've been drifting the most. Start there. Then take honest action to fix it. And don't say, oh, the weekend's here. I got plans. I'll just start Monday. No. For example, if it's faith, pray. Open the Bible. Sit in silence and stop running from conviction. If it's family, apologize. Be present. Put the phone down. Ask questions of your kids. Lead your home. Fitness, walk. Stop eating junk food. Stop eating like your body has no purpose. If it's finance, look at your checkbook, your budget. Cut out the waste. Stop pretending that the disorder in your bank account is offering peace. Take one action today. Just one. And then the next day and the day after, because every day forges you to become the man you are. And today's not just another day. It's an opportunity to start that process into the man you're becoming. So please consider yourself apt. Take a strong look at those 4 pillars: faith, family, fitness, finance, and live the framework. I think I'll stop there. If this episode hit you, because it hit me too, don't just move on. Do something with it. Share it with a man who needs to wake up. If that's not you, but I believe every one of us are weak in one of those 4 pillars. Share it. Subscribe to the podcast. And please take inventory of the 4 pillars this week. Don't overcomplicate it. Just be honest. Then move. Then move. Then move. I appreciate your time, everyone. I'm Joksan Morales. This is The Framework. I'll see you in the next episode.